So in this opening, we are starting out with my first friend from Fisk, and where we have journeyed in our path from freshman year to now a 12, 13-year friendship. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get started. Hello, I am Lauren, host of Speak Up Vlog, and you are joining me in Jubilee Hall in the Blue Room. So today I have an amazing guest, and actually my first friend, I'd say, as a Fiskite. So Arynn, welcome!
So excited to be back in this space and place.
So how did we meet?
How did we meet? We met summer 2005 at Dennis's grandma's house. They had a welcome for all the new students, and we were like one of 4 freshmen maybe, and you were like one of the only other girls. And you seemed cool. I was like, oh, okay, right?
That California connection.
Yes.
So you know where we are, where we were. So we matriculated over to Fisk University.
And then we started together at Fisk. You stayed on the 3rd floor of this very building.
Yes.
That's why so reminiscent. It's been, 11, 12 years or so. I stayed upstairs on the 4th floor, and I became friends with my roommate, and then one of our friends was in my orientation group, and she lived across the hall from you, and then one of our other friends lived across the hall from me and my roommate.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's how we built our group, our friendship, our core, yeah.
So coming to Fisk as college life, moving across the country, I loved every minute of orientation. I feel like it was the best thing. I learned about magic music, off the bat, and was able to see blackness in a whole different light. So for those who don't know what orientation week is like at an HBCU campus, you have a much better memory than I do naturally. So can you talk to that?
Yes. So orientation week is for all first-time students. It's a week of just them. So they're the only people on campus, no upperclassmen, except if they're an orientation leader. And so you get a chance to get to know your fellow classmates. These are your peers. You're all new and fresh, but kind of in this little 1-week bubble. You get to know more about the actual university and the history, and that starts to I feel like, build your relationship with the campus. So on the outside, it seems like a bunch of meetings and stuff. Lame. But there's that bonding time, so you get a chance to get to know other students that maybe you wouldn't get to know if you just stuck to the California kids or the West Coast kids or the Chicago kids. So you get to mix it up a bit.
So a lot of diversity in, I would say, as a new student. So with coming in to Fisk, what would you consider the biggest hurdle for moving across the country?
For me personally, I was really close with my family, so it would be and I'm the oldest, so it would be leaving my family. That was the hardest part. I remember literally right over there in that parking lot is where me and my mom parted, and she was like, "Just go on, baby, just go on." And I was like, "Okay, Mom." And walking up, that ramp, and it was just okay, here I am. It's me. Okay, you got this, girl. So then with one of my younger sisters having sickle cell disease, our family was really tight, and we knew what to do. We had a very clear way of functioning, and me separating myself from that so far away, that was okay, so I know why I'm here, but how can I help? What am I supposed to do? So that aspect, that distance was really the hardest part for me.
I feel like a terrible child because I was like, peace. To the parents when they dropped me off, they were gonna stay a week, and I was like, no.
You shut that down. I got this. I'm good.
So we had, I say, a memorable 4 years from step team to, I say, fried chicken Wednesdays to yarn parties. What is the favorite? Yeah, hot pot. Do you have a favorite Fisk experience?
No, I don't have this one. I'm gonna cheat. So I'm gonna give you a little compilation. One that I feel like was very unique and special to our generation of Fiskites here on this campus was when President Barack Obama was elected. We were practicing for the step show, for the homecoming step show. You know, all of us in like our headscarves and our like kind of workout outfits, but we were still keeping an eye. And when it was announced, we all just kind of like paused, and it was just like this really like awe-inspiring, life-changing, like the whole world paused.
Yeah.
And the whole community came together. Like everybody started pouring out of their dorm rooms. People from Tennessee State came over, Vanderbilt, the community. We were all like together sharing in this one moment. And I feel like being an HBCU student at the time too, just was kind of like the cherry on top.
That was like our first voting season?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Wow.
It was.
Okay, so that was one.
So that was one. Homecoming season and like the step show. That was always a lot of fun. It was stressful, but and like anxiety provoking. But when it was showtime, we stepped up. Okay, you know, we champions for a few years there. And then I played on the softball team, and that was a lot of fun. Traveling and connecting with the teammates, and you know, doing like that organized sport as well that was a lot of fun.
I'm surprised.
You know, I bounced around at this.
Yeah, Arynn is definitely the social butterfly.
And I was shy before I came to this.
That's a lie. You were not shy.
But I told myself when I got here, I said, okay, girl, you gotta break out of your shell, step out of your comfort zone, because if you want to make the most out of this experience, that's what you're going to have to do. You can't just be to yourself or sit back and observe and then slowly start to make friends. Like, no, just sit out on the yard, talk to people, listen, get to know.
Good job.
I had that internal self.
Oh, yeah.
I had to pick myself up like, okay, girl. I had to sit myself down real quick.
Wow. Okay. So Fisk, I would say happened. I want to so as you know, we come in the white dress. I love that you're in a black dress. Because it reminds me of, us leaving the campus.
That's what my roommate talked about. With this black dress, she was like, it's not gonna look like Jubilee Day, right? I said, wow.
Because that is part of the experience. So after Fisk, you went on to get your doctorate.
Yes.
So how was that like?
It was.
I was like, you went PWI route.
Yes.
Just like specify.
Yeah. Please do that. I was gonna touch on that because that was a critical part. Like I had been so immersed in the HBCU culture and just that sense of community that I assumed when I went to this new campus, you know, PWI, that at least with the other Black students, some of that would still be there. But I really had to like work hard to build my own community. It wasn't just kind of already set in place for me. I had to, it took some years to piece together my community, my village, my support. I know I looked for BGSA, Black Grad Student Association. I was on the first thing because I knew like, okay, I need to find my peers. And that was one of the places, met a lot of HBCU students. So it's kind of like, okay, you get what it's like being in this new space. But I was so grateful that I had like the foundation, the Fisk Foundation, that HBCU foundation. Because I feel like, you know, my character, but like who I was tested and questioned. And Like, did I belong there? Like, that imposter syndrome, I feel like it was injected as soon as you got there. And I really had to sit back and reflect over the years, like, okay, I had several moments of, Arynn, you know who you are, girl. Like, remember that. Remember your foundation, why you're doing this, why you're persevering. And, you know, what's the goal after? So that's what helped push me through, was definitely finding my community and village and just remembering kind of my why.
So can you touch on your why? And the
Oh,
goal,
yeah.
how you made it through, girl.
I made it. So I pursued a degree in counseling psychology because, again, my sister, she has sickle cell disease, so I knew what it was like growing up in a family that, you know, had this chronic illness and how we all had to like cope and adjust and really be flexible in whatever kind of life brought. So that's what inspired me to pursue a counseling and psychology degree, because I feel like I kind of had a sense of what we could have benefited from, like, you know, as a family, not just Robin and her illness, but how it impacted all of us. So that was like the major why. And her own like education journey and how it hasn't been as linear as mine, and not to take that for granted. So that was like a huge motivating factor that I was like, okay, girl, woo, just keep going, because, you know, it took me a while to get that degree. So I had to remind myself constantly when I wanted to quit, when I wanted to give up, when I wanted to say, forget it, y'all can have this degree. It ain't worth it. But I would always go back to, okay, wait, don't throw in the towel just yet. Why are you doing this?
So from an amazing why, and I'd say the Fisk Foundation, for lack of better words, because even in our circle, many of us have secondary degrees. And so I feel that since we had such a great foundation here, that even when it was hard, you know, it was a quick text away, a phone call away, Zoom chats, you know, since that's not really a thing, that helped keep us all going. Because without the right foundation, I don't know if we all would be like where we are today.
I tell people that all the time, like, I don't know who I would be or what my life would look like if I hadn't chose like the Fisk route, the HBC route. Because some of my like longest and closest friendships were built here. And without that, it's like, wow, I feel like I would be such a different person. What that looks like, no idea. But
I don't even want to think about it.
Right? I'm not gonna give too much time to that.
I was gonna stay at home in California. Like, I was not going
Same.
I was gonna be there.
I was content. I was content with California. I had visited outside of California, but I figured being from LA, I could go up north and be far enough from home, but still kind of close enough I need to come back. And again, like I said, the South is like, I don't know about that. You want me to tell you how I got to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll give you that story. So I ended up getting a brochure in the mail. Remember all the
brochure. Woo! Got a copy.
The brochure models. So I got a brochure from Fisk, and I was like, huh. And at the time, I was interested in accounting, and they had a joint.
Really?
I know, right? You know that. And they had a joint program where you could get an MBA in 5 years. So Fisk here, then Vanderbilt, boom. I filled out the little card. They sent me a free application. And I was like, free? Sure, why not? What's the harm in that? And I got accepted. And I got a really nice scholarship. I actually thought the scholarship was fake at first. I don't know, I thought it was like, you know, not spam because it was like real mail. But I thought it was like a little scam. And my mom was like, no, wait, this is real. I was like, So that's when I started to take Fisk a little more seriously as an option. And I even considered leaving California because there were just some things going on at home. I was like, you know what? I don't want to like go off on anybody. So I think I should, you know, remove myself. Which my mom was always kind of like quietly cheering, like, yes, just go.
She probably loves that you followed the HBCU path.
Yes.
She gets it.
Yes. And she always told me, you can always come back, because I felt like it was the right fit for me. I could see myself immersing right into the culture and just kind of fitting right in, not sticking out so much of being like a new student, but I could just go right into the fold.
Yeah. So Fisk has been, or still is to this day, I say everything, and how it's helped change the world, how it's helped change our lives. So as you kind of look at your path, what, would you tell your younger self or a younger person, some advice to them?
I would tell myself a couple of things. One would be to kind of continue to trust the journey and the process, and just like relax. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Just I would tell myself to like speak up more, because if I was current Arynn back in some situations from other times, things would have gone differently. I would have, advocated for myself more, just know that I had the option to, that I could do that it was okay to do that. So definitely speak up more, and more specifically, like, don't go home during the summer. I know, this is something I tell students. But don't go home during the summers. Like, go do that internship, go do that program. Because that can open your world to different opportunities and experiences. Because again, home is going to be there. You chilling.
That's a good point. I went home every once.
Yeah, me too. Again, the whole family piece. Like, I miss my family. Like, that was my time to kind of re-up on that. So.
Right, Dr. Arynn. Let me just call you that. So, what do you do today, and how, in some capacity, your impact is actually benefiting Fisk? What's your job?
So, even though I got my degree in counseling psychology, in grad school, that's when I got really introduced to higher ed. Even though at Fisk, I was definitely doing higher ed activities like an orientation leader, all the campus engagement, student life, all that type of stuff. And that was my introduction, and I was like, oh wow, I really like this. So an opportunity presented itself. So I work with this grant in California, helping community college students in California transfer to HBCUs. So we're partnered with HBCUs. So I work with the students that are currently at the partner schools, and then I also work with the HBCUs and like developing and maintaining those relationships so that the students can have a smooth process and transition. So it's really like a dream job that I didn't know existed. So it gets to bridge my like love for home in California. And I feel like students there, they still to this day don't really know that much about HBCUs. Like, there's still some students that don't even know what they are or that they exist. So getting to bridge that passion with my love for HBCUs, but still being able to like live in California.
For the record, Arynn is never leaving.
Don't say never. Don't say never. We'll see.
Never leaving California.
We'll see. So yeah, I love the opportunity to connect with the students and talk about what would I do differently. Kind of impart some of those gems so that they could, like giving back. They could do better than I did. Like, I didn't do bad. It wasn't shabby, but I mean, I could have refined and done things a little bit differently to, position myself in a different way. So yeah, I love it, and I love working with all the campuses. It just feels so great.
I mean, that is a dream job.
I actually love what I do.
So I'm so glad that you love what you do. I'm so thankful that you came all the way from California to sit down with me and have this conversation.
It's so great.
This life and our sisterhood. So yeah, we 12 years in.
Yeah.
And what, 72 more to go?
Life, okay? Yeah. That's a different marriage.
Yeah.
That's the only part.
So yes, until we can walk down the beautiful steps in Jubilee Hall.
That's 2059. We have to be 50 and
Yeah. Thanks for adding context. So that's all that I have for us, Arynn.
I remember another one of those questions.
Good job. See, Arynn is
You talked about the sisterhood part.
Arynn is so amazing.
I know. I'm starting to sweat, so hold me down.
So Arynn is the memory. I don't have any memory.
That's okay. I don't have all the memories. But yeah, I know you wanted
You
to
took
talk
all
on
the
the
memory.
whatever.
Arynn, like, I was Arynn, who's the person that was in our class?
I'm low-key the
Who's
Rolodex.
from the And she's like, oh yeah, such and such classes, they're from this person. Oh yeah, they graduated with That's Arynn.
I broadened my circle of it.
So something that I feel that is very unique and something that I always love to talk about with people is the sisterhood that we have. Because within our circle, which to me it's normal, I don't know, other people always be like, wow. So we got doctors.
Y'all real deep.
Yeah. We're a deep circle, but we have doctors, lawyers, business, medicine, social work, all in this one group. Multiple degrees. I can't even count how many hands, how many degrees we have as a group. But that's just like our norm. So how I would say the sisterhood of us, and thank you for the lessons that y'all taught me from day one, coming in the door. But truly, we are sisters.
Yeah. Which is something as the oldest, I have blood sisters. But the age difference is so wide that when I was at home and in California, high school and all of that, I had friends, and some of which I'm still really close with, but they were more kind of individual, not so much a group of women. Which there wasn't anything bad about it. It's just how I connected with people. So being at Fisk and developing those truly strong, authentic bonds and relationships was new, but new in an exciting way to have these friends and go home for winter break and be like, man, I miss my friends.
I make it one day. Now here's your nice, but
yeah, I'm ready to go back. And how, despite over the years and us being miles away from each other, different coasts, and just all the experiences we've been through, and how we're still there for each other at the end of the day. You still have that core, that group that you can come to
for anything
that can support you through whatever you're going through, whether it be family stuff, work issues, breakups, health issues, the different, life changes and adjustments. We've all grown together, and that says a lot because, adult relationships and friendships, they can shift and people grow apart, which is natural, but I'm not sure what the glue is that's held us together, but I don't know. But we've maintained that.
Yeah, regardless of what city, what country, anything, we're still just as close. I would say the last time we were all together was your wedding.
Yeah,
all 6 of
which
us.
Was so amazing. So amazing to all be back together again, because that hadn't been the case since sophomore year of college.
Yeah. 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah. But everybody. So it was just nice to, reconnect and then, celebrate this special moment because, y'all knew about it when I was here. So to be able to, witness and experience and be still a part of each other's lives, even though we're not always physically there, it's always special.
That's us.
I know. I did good to not cry. I'm so proud of myself.
So let's put on your work hat.
Okay.
What do you tell students to get them interested in HBCUs?
So I tell students a few things. I kind of try to set the scene, set the tone, give them like a little peek into the HBCU experience. And some of that is like dispelling some myths. Some of that is just a little window into what HBCU life is like and what it has to offer. So one of the things is a lot of students tend to be kind of like the token student, like one of few in the classroom that's Black. So imagine being in the classroom, just academically, being in a setting where you're not the only one. But you have all these peers that are on the same level in some sense, whether it's most of them are maybe Black or they just come from varying backgrounds, but still it's this kind of unifying experience where the professor actually sees you and values you and sees that you belong in that academic setting, like you belong in this classroom. You didn't just barely get here, or you're not just a student athlete and all you are valued is for your body and your performance. So I tackle it kind of from the academic side, and then also just I try to in words put together what the culture is like, which can be so hard to put into words what the culture is like. So I usually kind of explain it like, how many campuses have like a Black student union, like some type of organization. So just to imagine a whole campus that is focused on you, your wellness, your well-being, your growth, nurturing you, whether that be in that like kind of soft love or that tough love, because you'll get that from both aspects. So that, but at the end of the day, it's for your purpose. They want to see you succeed. And then also the social aspect, like people love Greek life, homecoming, step shows, battle of the bands, all that kind of stuff. Which sometimes that's what students will only know about HBCUs. But that's still very valuable. I don't want them to, just go here for school. Because through the social experiences, that's also how you build your network and, build those relationships and even get some of that experience, whether it's, walking in the fashion show or developing the marketing or the flyers or the videography
show or something.
So that's just another way of organically building your network. Because at the end of the day, as we've experienced and lived, these are our peers. So these are your future colleagues, your future network, your future employer, supervisor. These are people that you can rely on and go to for not just to kick it. HBCUs get, sometimes a little turn up, have a good time. Which, yes, you can, have a great time, but still handle your business. So you can do both. You can be both.
Straight Fisk motto.
Yes.
I would say for the record, it is party hard,
stay up late, but most of all, graduate. Yes.
And I love that you touched on nurturing, and even it doesn't stop. I mean, even we're sitting here 12 years removed, from graduating. Is that right? Is that in my head? Okay. I was like, so from graduating, and still the campus is still nurturing us to do this project.
Yes.
So it's not, you're in the family forever. It's not a one and done.
No. And no matter where you go either. Because I've come across former Fisk staff at other campuses that I work with. And, because my name is so unique, they're like, I recognize, yes, baby, it's so good to see you. And see you, all grown up. I'm so proud of you. So, and I tell students that you join this family, not only within that campus, but as an HBCU body as a whole, like we talked about earlier. So it's joining this community of support and opportunity and growth and excellence.
Yes, nothing like it.
They come to refine you, to shape you into, you might come in one way, but you will always exit a better version of yourself.
Arynn. This has been everything. I could not have thought of a better person to ask as my first Fisk friend to join me on this project journey. So I thank you, and thank you so much for sharing you with the world.
Thank you. Thank you.